Congressman Adam Kinzinger is here. How are you?
I'm just good, doing a little coffee injection, getting my day started. It's beautiful outside, and I'd rather just sit outside today.
I don't blame you. And this has got to be so much better than Washington weather. Isn't this when it gets into the soup in Washington?
So D.C., it gets soupy. It's raining like all week. There's like permanent thunderstorms.
Nice.
So everybody's kind of miserable, and you're sitting around going, it's August. The weather has really sucked all summer, and it's going to be winter soon.
Right. It's a fatalistic outlook, but you know, when you're there and you experience
politics,
it.
That's what you got to do.
Yeah, you walk outside, you mildew. I mean, it's just, it's one of those things. I think the Senate gets people to iron them before they make appearances.
Yeah, they do.
In the House, you don't get that.
No, we don't. But your hair grows a lot faster, which is cool because it's always watered by the humidity.
You got that working for you.
Yeah, that's nice, yeah.
You've got a lot of things going on. Most notably, and I've been seeing a lot of ink spilled on this and a lot of talk going on, the opiate epidemic that we have going on. You've jumped into this with both feet. And not just now. You've been with us for a while, but really trying to amp it up and really make awareness a thing here.
Yeah, we had a really good forum last night. We had a lot of participants, everything from, first responders, government officials, obviously, and then, folks that are providers in recovery. And it was really a discussion about how do we fix this problem? In a hyper-partisan political environment, it's tempting for everybody to make everything political, right?
Right.
Adam mowed the lawn, but he mowed the lawn wrong, because he's a Republican. This is an issue where I think we need to put partisanship aside. And it's unfortunate. You have Elizabeth Warren that has her bill that's simply meant to make it look like Republicans can't do enough because it puts like $8 gajillion into this problem. The issue isn't money right now. We've increased spending on the opioid problem by fivefold, and the president wants to do more next year, and we will. The issue is, how do we empower communities to fix this problem? And I say this is important to know. If you even suspect your dad, your kids, anybody that may have a problem, ask them about it. Yeah, you may be embarrassed because you ask them, like, no, I've never done opiates in my life. But you may be the person that asks them, because for everybody that's found overdose, there's somebody around them that goes, I have no idea.
I had no idea they were into this at all.
Yep, and it's all socioeconomic ladders. It's all races, everything. Nobody's immune.
Yeah, and that's the thing, and really important to note. Black, white, brown, green, yellow, purple, young, old, rich, poor, middle, everywhere in between. This is hitting everybody equally.
Yeah, it is. And look, opiates have an important role in society, right? I've hurt my back before. I've had to take these things so that I could walk. And most people can take a Vicodin or an Oxy and be okay. They can get off of them when they need to. But there is a segment, just like, somebody that takes their first drink that's an alcoholic. There's a segment that once they do one, now literally their next kind of stop is going to be face down in a ditch on heroin, because you take these opiates, they get too expensive. You have to take too many of them to get the same high. So the next jump is to putting a needle in your arm. And it's something that we as a society have to come together. Because last year, more people died of drug overdoses than guns for the first time in our country's history.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, it is.
And we always talk about the gateway. The people who are anti-legalization of marijuana, you often hear, it's a gateway. That's a gateway. Opiates are really the true gateway.
Yep.
That's the one that people get into, as you mentioned. And it started out, I had a real bad shoulder. And the next thing you know, I have a heroin addiction, and I've lost everything.
And one of the things I've actually supported is, I'm really kind of wrestling with the idea of marijuana. And because I know a lot of people that say, hey, it's helped me with pain and everything else. I'm absolutely for it on the medical side.
Sure.
And, one of the things I've supported, I voted for is, the VAs are not allowed in states where medical marijuana is legal, which I think is most states now. They are not allowed to write prescriptions for medical marijuana to veterans because they're a federal facility. And my view is, so what they do instead is put them on opiates. And again, some people can handle it, but seeing these folks that fought for their country that are addicted to these opiates is really a sad thing.
Oh, it is. But what is the situation? You remember how, of course you do, how badly things were going at the VA. We kept report after report after report how many people died just waiting to be seen. And that was one of the things that the president ran on, is we're going to shore this up. This is a disgrace.
Yeah.
Have we made steps in the right direction?
Yeah, we've made huge steps. Even just something as basic as the website and veterans being able to access what they need has gotten better. The president has moved people around in the organization. It's really amazing and really just kind of sad how hard it is to fire somebody in the bureaucracy.
Yeah.
We had to pass a law and get it signed into law that allows the president to fire, potentially 1/5 of the veterans employees, but the rest are protected by the federal unions. And so, yeah, I mean, there's been some major strides, but there's always more we can do to improve the service. But what we have to do now, I think, is we've put a lot of money at the problem. We need to put a lot of focus on quality. And you have these providers, nurses and doctors that are fantastic. It's the huge bureaucracy on top of them, which we've seen everywhere in government. That's the problem.
Yeah, and bureaucracy always seems to end up being the problem on these.
The heavy bureaucracy suffocates everybody below.
Let's move on to something happier. GDP came out.
It's great.
Now, I couldn't wait to flip over to MSNBC and CNN to tell me why this was a bad thing, and they didn't waste any time. Oh, it's all on soybeans.
Yeah.
What about, who cares about soybeans? This is an unbelievable number.
It is, and to hear these people like, this was started under the Obama administration.
Of course.
Do you remember when...
I remember 1.8 growth.
Yeah. And I remember when President Obama took over, and everything that happened immediately happened with the beginning of Obama's term. And, Bush was everything
damage
bad.
Bush had done.
And now it's looking back and it's like, oh, it was the seeds of Obama. No, it was deregulation. Talk to anybody that owns a business or is a farmer. They'll tell you that deregulation's made a difference. When President Trump came, he said, I want to repeal 3 regulations for every new regulation. It's actually been 20-1 right now.
Really?
20 regulations repealed. Yep. And then the tax reform made a massive difference, allowing business to breathe, giving individuals more of their tax money back, even though Nancy Pelosi calls that crumbs. Well, it is to her because she's extremely rich and she's from the West Coast. But it's made a massive difference. And 4.1% GDP growth is mind-blowing. I mean, we're hoping for sustained 3% growth. To get 4.1% is something that Republican and Democrat alike should celebrate, but they won't.
No, we can't. We can't, because that would be giving credit. And at this point, we're so far deeply into the resistance that we cannot give credit for anything that happens.
I mean, he could take a rocket ship to the moon, grab a bunch of unicorns, bring them back, and populate the United States with unicorns and cotton candy trees, and they would find a reason to hate him.
Oh, sure. Too much sugar, and what are we going to do with all this waste and methane?
Exactly. So unicorns poop way more than we thought.
Oh, the methane from a unicorn will just... It's going to end up killing the entire planet is what it's going to end up doing.
Unicorns could be violent, though. They could end up spearing things. So
I never thought about that.
Yeah. They have a horn for a reason.
so many different things going on. So we got GDP up. We've got what else was I going to hit you? We didn't really talk too much about the aftermath of the Helsinki summit.
Yeah.
Was it really the end of the world as we know it?
It wasn't the end of the world. I think we don't know what was said, and President has a right to meet with anybody in private if he wants to. So the Democrats that are talking about subpoenaing a translator is the stupidest idea I've ever heard in my life.
It's one of them. I've never even heard that idea proposed ever before.
No, and a president has to have the ability to have private conversations. And so, you know what? Do I agree with him doing that without? No, I think there should have been people there. But he has a right to. There's no doubt about it. I talked to the president, in fact, a couple days before the Helsinki summit. I was on Air Force 2. And had an opportunity to chat with him. He's got America's best interest in mind. But I will say, and I came out and was critical of the press conference. I think the president has to be more clear-eyed on Russia. It's okay to have a relationship with Vladimir Putin, but you can't have a friendship. It's like, I use examples like having a friendship with Jeffrey Dahmer, right? Jeffrey Dahmer's a pretty bad dude. If you're his jail guard, you can have a relationship with him. Here's your dinner. Please don't try to eat my face.
We're polite acquaintances.
Yeah, exactly. Here's breakfast. Don't gnaw on my arm.
Right.
But it doesn't mean you have to be friends with him, and that's how I see Vladimir Putin. You can have a relationship, but don't be his buddy. And I think the president, frankly, kind of learned that lesson. And that's a good thing. And hopefully through this relationship, we can actually get some concessions from the Russians.
That would be nice to see.
Absolutely.
Even from the Germans who are buying, billions of dollars worth of billions of dollars worth of gas from them.
And they're doing this Nord Stream 2. I mean, this is the first president that has publicly attacked Nord Stream 2, which is a German-Russian venture to try to basically keep Eastern Europe addicted to Russian oil. He came out and called out Merkel on that, and Democrats even then couldn't find anything good. I'm like, that's like the most anti-Russian thing any president's ever said.
Right. But no, somehow there's an ulterior that this will benefit your friendship with Putin.
That's right.
When you wake up every day, do you think to yourself, okay, what's going to be the next wave of outrage? Because that's what it seems to be. There seems to be a growing movement that when they wake up every morning, today's the day we get this guy.
Yeah, and it's every day is something new from the Mueller investigation or something new that's, this is going to be the thing. And I've said, let Mueller finish his investigation. Let's see what all he has. But it's just every day is a new outrage. And, it's been difficult for us because with 4.1% GDP growth, with the success of the tax reform plan, with the repeal of the individual mandate for Obamacare, with, rebuilding the United States military, with the opioid actions that we've taken and human trafficking, we've done some really good things. And these are messages we need to get out to people to say, look, if you're a Democrat, here's some good things we've done. If you're a Republican, and I'll say this right now, if you're a Republican, make sure you vote in November.
Yeah.
Because if we lose the House, if we lose the House, it will be Nancy Pelosi as Speaker again. And they will have every member of the administration in front of the various oversight committees for 12 hours a day. It'll be all over CNN as they attack Secretary Perry or whoever's in front of them about how you think it's been bad now. Wait until they have the majority.
Oh, yeah. Everything from how you buy staples up to how you conduct high-level diplomacy.
That's it. I mean, whether or not you like me as a congressman, I'm going to vote against Nancy Pelosi, and I'm going to vote for probably Kevin McCarthy, the next speaker. That is what we need, because I'll tell you what, it will be a mess if they get the majority.
Where are you for the rest of the day? You're knocking around the district?
Yeah,
you got a couple of stops?
I'm going to be in Rochelle. I was in Rockford all yesterday. I'm going to Rochelle, going down to Ottawa, down to Princeton. So kind of ending in the middle part of the district today, and then tomorrow we kind of go eastern and southern part of the district, and then we're back all at it next week again.
Outstanding. Thanks for carving out some time for us this morning.
Yeah, anytime. I'm glad to make it.